Well, you can see top of your picture there, the athletes lined up for the men's 5,000 metres. Andreas Almgren setting that European record for Sweden in front of the home crowd in the Olympic Stadium in Stockholm a couple of weeks ago, 12:44.27. Iman Baran Kripa, third 2 years ago in Horzo. He's the European champion from 2022 at 10,000 metres. He's won the European half marathon title last year in Rome. He's a super athlete, is Kripa. He'll be tough to beat. Mind you, so will this man from Spain, Tirin Dickenwinayo, the defending champion. He won in Horzo 2 years ago in a fabulous race against Almgren of Sweden with a 52.1 last lap. He's got great speed and strength. He was 9th in the Olympic 10,000 last year. The Swiss athlete there, Lobalu, Dominic Lobalu, 4th in the Olympic 10,000 last summer. Only 10th in the Oslo 5,000 a month ago, but in his personal best of 12:50. What a race that was. And there is Niels Laros. He's the danger man for the real, genuine 5,000 metre runners. He's a 1,500 metre specialist, the 20-year-old Dutchman. He'll be expecting and hoping for a slow race. The German there on the inside, that is Frederick Ruppert, European under-23 steeplechase champion a few years back. But the Spaniard in Dickenwinayo, well, he has that great speed and strength. 12:47 he ran in Oslo a couple of weeks ago to finish in 6th place.
On your mark.
Anything under 12:50 is an incredibly quick running at 5,000 metres. So 12.5 laps of the track, then here they come already this year in a season, thanks to technology in the shoes and other assisting factors, is seeing incredibly quick times. Already this year, 24 men have broken 13 minutes. But this one, for me, the main protagonists in Dickenwinayo, Lobalu, Kripa and Laros, and it looks like it's going to be one of those slow, meandering affairs for the first few laps. If it is, we'll go back to the field events of plenty, but I'll keep you abreast of the way it unfolds. For Great Britain here, Dave Malarkey, his 3,000 personal best, much superior to his 1,500 or 5,000 bests. He's actually run 7:42 for 3,000, his lifetime best at 5,000, only 23. That might be enough in this sort of company, because it will be slow, and it'll play, I suspect, into the hands of Laros, and they will be aware of that, the 1,500, the 5,000 and 10,000 specialists, because he's super quick at 1,500. 3:29 he ran last year, Niels Laros, for the Netherlands. So Phil, this at the moment, although the Spaniard is beginning to pick it up a little bit in Dickenwinayo, the defending champion, has all the hallmarks of a slowish affair.
Indeed, but the pace is fairly reasonable, and they've strung out in almost single file over the course of about 20 metres. Lobalu right at the back at the moment. Interesting to see that Lobalu's taken the choice of staying right at the back. He obviously feels very confident in his finish. Kripa there, you can see about 7th or 8th place at the moment. He's tucked in there. It's interesting to see how these tactics are unfolding. Lobalu totally unsighted as to what's going on at the front, and they're now covering about 20 metres. Well, they went through 600 metres very early stages in unofficially 1:43.
Yeah, that lap, about 68 seconds up to 600. It was 69 seconds exactly the first 400. I think the Spaniard here in front of the home crowd, as he goes through 800, wants to give a degree of respectability to this one. It was about 2 minutes 10 at 800 there.
So, Diame, world indoor bronze medalist, down in 5th place for the host nation. That's a good effort. Oh, gets a red flag though. No, I can tell you, looking across onto the infield. I was looking at where she landed rather than where she took off, but she was 33 centimetres over the board.
Well, reboot. The first lap was 67.9, the 800 time was 2:17.3. They come down the home straight now, and they will see the 1,000 metre mark, and they're still 50 metres away. The pole has taken the lead. That's Kamil Hercik. He's a 14:02 performer. He's obviously thinking, well, there it is, 2:50.33 at 1K. Very, very slow. It's only about 13:50 pace. He's obviously thinking, well, I might as well push this along and try and see if I can bring some respectability to this and get in the spotlight briefly. What do they talk about? 15 seconds of fame. 2:50 for the first kilometre. That represents actually 14:10 pace. There they go. For those drinks, the smart ones, I think, Phil.
Yes, and it's in Dickenwinayo, Laros, the Czechia runner, Lobalu, still tucked in at the back. Lobalu about 20 metres off the front. And the rest, because it's daylight between him and the rest of the field at the moment. I hope he's all right. I hope this is actually a tactic rather than demonstrating that he's got a fitness issue. Dicquemanayo still got the bottle in his hand as he goes around the track, starting to move up. Malarkey in front of him, the Briton. But it's still the Pole. Now, the Pole's a 13:48 man, just 21 years of age. What would you have been advising someone like him who's got such little international experience?
Well, I don't know if it would be to go to the front. Herzig there. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Just Sawyers moved up to third place with that third round, 6:75. Very determined, was always quick on the run-up. That's around the 6:70 mark as well. Gets a white flag. As you can see there, valid attempt. 9 centimetres to spare on the board. Pretty solid placement on the board. Gets good height, good leg shoot. Perhaps just done a little better with the leg shoot. 6:75. Not as far, 6:60.
Well, up to this javelin. Felfner then, 66.80 in the first round for the Ukrainian. What can he do here? That's much better. That's just creeps over the 75-meter line. Wow. Felfner opened with 66, then a 64, and now something surely just beyond 75 meters, if we can trust those markers across the sector. His season's best is only 76 meters, 76 and a half, the 21-year-old. He was World Under-20 champion back in 2022, and he's just thrown Felfner 75.39 into fifth place. Well, here's that 5,000 meters, and still the Pole being allowed to lead. I'm just checking, Phil. Actually, I don't think he's ever broken 14 minutes, this young fella. And yet he's being allowed to lead here at a very comfortable tempo. That's the German in second place behind him, Frederick Ruppert, who's a steeplechase specialist. The Spaniard now has dropped back into fourth place, having picked it up a little bit, the defending champion, Dicquemanayo. And still, as you pointed out, Lobalu at the back, biding his time, knowing this is going to be super, super slow. Nobody's yet broken away or kicked in. 6 minutes on the clock. The first kilometre, remember, was a pedestrian 250. They've got through 2,000 in 5:40. Pretty much the same speed.
But it's still the Pole at the front, doing a very good job at the moment. Herzig, as Tim was saying, hasn't broken 14 minutes. Now Laros taking the long way around, just going over, getting on more water. I don't think he's missed a water station. He's been over there almost every lap, Laros. You know what he's capable of.
It must be almost painful to run this slowly, Phil, because Laros is a 2:14 1,000-meter runner. He did that last summer. I think he was attacking the World Junior record, or maybe it was a World Junior record if I would go back rightly. 3:29 1,500. He's loping around here at about 67, 68 seconds per lap, and it's desperately slow for him. That said, the Pole Herzig is giving a good account of himself here. I mean, a lad who's only run 14:02, you've got to say, he has run 3:39 for 1,500, but he's just keeping this pace ticking along, and it's hurting one or two. There are one or two bodies beginning to drop off the back here. He's doing a great job. This is a gutsy run through the middle section of the race with the Briton there, Dave Malarkey, up in third place.
And in second, the German, Frank Ruppert, who, according to my notes, has never run a competitive 5,000 metres before. I know him as a steeplechaser. Was in the final of last year's 3,000 metres steeplechase in Rome. So the German also having a good run at this stage in the competition.
Lobalu, sorry, just beginning to make a move down the outside is Lobalu. Crippa there hasn't shown his colours yet at all, the Italian. Who was third in this race 2 years ago. The defending champion is in this one, remember, and Dicquemanayo of Spain. He's back in fifth place there, loping along, looking comfortable, just ahead of Crippa. And just looking Laros has moved up into 7th. I think that's about the highest he's been through the entire race. As they come towards 3,000, they'll come through this time just in front of us here in this glorious green track. 5 laps to go, 8:28 at 3,000, 2:48 that one.
So it's still Herzik leading the way back to the long jump. Larissa Yapakino squeaked into the top 8. This is the 5th round now. Oh, that's a massive jump. That's a huge jump. We're just checking to see whether it gets the white flag. I think it does. Can't quite see across the stage. Right on the board. Oh, yes, she does, by 2 and a bit centimetres. Now it's just a question of waiting for that mark to come up. I know it's going to be a big one, though, and that could well put her in front. Well, the Italians have already seen the infield marker. 6:92. She takes the lead. She leapfrogs Malaika Mihambo. It's a massive jump from the Italian. And after struggling through 4 rounds, the Italian gets to the front.
And talk about getting to the front. Indika Munayo now hits the front for Spain as they go through with 4 laps to go. The German has followed him through, Frederick Ruppert there, the former steeplechaser, or the steeplechase specialist, who runs for the Tübingen club, actually, does Ruppert. And now he's beginning to wind it up here, and there's been a big injection from Indika Munayo. He won in Horzo 2 years ago in that brilliant race with a 52.1 last lap. He doesn't want it to be that close here tonight. He was 9th in the Olympic 10,000 last summer in 26:49 and a national record for Spain. He's super strong. The first 5, remember, in that Olympic final, running 26:43. Single file it is. And he's beginning to ask 1 or 2 questions of this field as they come round the top bend now, although he seems to have slowed it down a little bit. I thought he injected a bit of pace for a couple of hundred. He's slowed down again, and they're closing up on him. There's about 8 or 9 men away, with the German Ruppert in 2nd. It is Lobalu of Switzerland in 3rd, then Gripper in 4th. Laros in 5th place for the Netherlands. Behind him, the Briton is Dave Malarkey, going well at the moment. Then I think it's the Hungarian in 7th place, Zsogi.
Yeah, well, there's still a big group of 8 men up in the front there, lined up behind Indika Munayo. But he's pushing the pace now. Rupert blowing quite hard, but he's still tucked in there in 2nd. And Lobalu, over the course of that lap and a bit, has moved up from the back, tucked in very nicely in 3rd. But there you can see the tall, imposing figure of Niels Laros. And this is really playing into Laros's hands. He's a 3:29 man over 1,500 metres. Nobody else in this field has got anything close to that turn of pace over the 1,500 metres. This isn't going to be a race that really tests Laros, because he's got so much stamina as well. He's done so well over the cross-country in the under-20 European cross-country championships and on the track over 3,000 and 5,000 metres. Indika Munayo coming around. They'll be seeing the lap marker with 2 to go.
De Sousa, the Portuguese. 4 rounds under her belt, 6:67 in round 2, almost identical in the 4th round. This is her in 8th place now. Well, that's not bad at all. Oh, she gets a no jump, that's a shame. Gets the red light as opposed to the green light. Such good speed, yeah, big adjustment there. She was getting to the board too soon. She had to make that adjustment. Well, I'm not sure we need to see replays of a no jump, but whatever. They've got 600 to go in the 5,000 metres. 1.2 the wind behind that. Now they've got about 500 to go in this 5,000 metres, and we're down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 athletes there. Nobody has really turned it on yet, but he is in control of things, and he might as well be at the front in a slow race. Laros there beginning to move up down the outside. Here comes Gripper now. He's got great speed, great strength. Set the Italian record for the half marathon under 60 minutes in Napoli a couple of years back. As they come to the bell this time, 12:51.5 at the bell, give or take. That 4th kilometre wasn't quick either. It was a 2:44, and now Ndika Mwanayo begins to move away. He's making a long charge for home. Laros, as you'd expect from the 3:29 1500-metre man, into the back straight. But has he got the legs here? As Ndika Mwanayo doubles down, the defending champion. Lobalu of Switzerland in 3rd place. Gripper really struggling for speed here, and the German having a good run. Ruppert back in 5th place. As they come round the bend, it looks like the Spaniard is going to take maximum points here. A successful defence of his title, or is it? Laros coming back at him. A nervous glance over his shoulder there, and Laros hits the front, and they played into his hands, didn't they? They didn't test him from further out. Somebody should have gone hard from 3 laps out, and this, I suppose, was pretty predictable. Laros storms away there. Very comfortable victory for him. 52.8 I got his last lap at, and hardly surprising there. Somebody, one of those 5,000, 10,000 specialists, should have made it tougher from a kilometre out, Phil. Laros there getting maximum points for the Netherlands. They'll love those 16 points.
Yeah, we were talking about it as the race unfolded, that this was playing into the hands of Laros, and indeed just went through the gears as they came off the bend, and there was nothing that Kamayo could do about it, and indeed he was caught on the line by the fast-finishing Dominic Lobalu of Switzerland as well. Lobalu up the pace. He could see that Ndika Mwanayo was struggling. Ruppert coming through. As we say, we think this might be his competitive debut over 5,000 metres. Good points for the German as well. He came through and overtook Gripper in the home straight. So a great run though for Laros. That's so important, those points for the Netherlands, to keep them in contention for their very first place on the podium.
Officially that last lap 52.61 from Laros, and most of the hard running was in the last 300. So all credit to Ndika Mwanayo, who led through 4,000 and took it to the Dutchman. Lobalu coming through eventually for 2nd place to nip the Spaniard by 1/100th of a second. So 15 points for the Swiss in 2nd place, and Ndika Mwanayo in 3rd. Ruppert 4th, Gripper in 5th, was just lacking speed there over that last 300 metres. He is, I think, in training psychologically for a marathon these days, but look at the pace of Laros here. He is a very competent 5,000 metre runner. That's easy to forget. He's a 13:10 5,000 metre runner, but as every lap clicked by, I suspect he was thinking, yep, love it, boys, keep it coming. And indeed, it was exactly what he wanted served up. Very slow through to the bell.
And Lobalu coming from a long way back as well. I thought he was being left for dead when Laros started to go through his gears and started to pull away. He's got the luxury of being able to look around and check what's going on. Laros comes through, big smile on his face. Lobalu, though, really fighting hard down the home straight and overhauls Ndika Mwanayo on the line.
He's a 3:48 miler, is Laros, 4:49 for 2,000. You can't run a slow race and expect anything but to be out-sprinted. There it is, the men's 5,000 metres. Maximum points for the Netherlands, 13:44 in a typical championship slow race. Lobalu 2nd for Switzerland, and Ndika Mwanayo 3rd for the host Spain, and Ruppert, a great run. We think a debut for 5,000 metres there in 4th place. Gripper, Augusto, Hertzig and Malaki in 8th place, bringing up the rest of the top 8.
There you see it all the way down to Stamoulis, coming home in just inside 14.5 minutes for Greece. As we were saying, that'll be so important, those points for the Netherlands.